I'm Professor Veeravalli. I work with the Great Lake Institute of Management as I'm a director for executive education programs. I also teach. What I like best about this program is that it had a sound toolkit which drove the whole proceeding. It had a kind of thought through interplay between materials, cases, discussions, and worksheet. The secondary valuable thing I saw in this was what turned out to be a healthy ratio between mentors and mentees, which gave live opportunities to work on, for them to kind of apply what they're seeing in the book, what they're picking up on the fly, and what they have in terms of what they're discovering from these individuals. So that was the second very good thing. And I think going forward tomorrow we will have these mentor-mentee sessions also to reinforce this further. I think those are very solid components. And the final thing I would also say is the very effective and yet completely comfortable style in which Raj ran the whole 2 days session, which of course, knowing him as we do, is no surprise to me, but I just wanted to go on record. I also particularly wanted to make a mention about the lucid and in themselves remarkably comprehensive 1.5 pager and 1 page caselets. I must particularly compliment Raj on packing so much so elegantly in a couple of pages. I think they are tremendous ways of, tremendous formats for giving more such things, easy and yet at the same time not simplistic. I think these are all the standing out virtues I saw in the whole thing. Some of the challenges, very heterogeneous group, and it's always a challenge to a moderator to be able to therefore see how to kind of carry the least informed along with the other end guy. And I think that's a challenge. Maybe some thought could be applied to see how this part could be dealt with a little better. Because some of which led to, in my view, some amount of having to kind of hustle forward because the whole thing had to be covered in a certain level. So some of the concepts I thought therefore could not be closed to the quote-unquote satisfaction of the kind of trailing individuals. That I thought was one noteworthy feedback point to make, so that that could be seen as to how that could be dealt with. The second is, of course, there is always opportunity to add on more elements into the toolkit. What I offer as a suggestion is to see if the moderator wants to ask them to give it then and there, as it kind of pops in their heads, to see whether it is fit or not is something which he will, in his iterative process, decide and discard or include, as the case may be. That's the other thought which came to my mind. Well, that I guess that's more or less the top of mind impromptu or kind of a flow of thought that I could see as of now, besides the very beautiful Chennai skyline out there.